Good afternoon and welcome to Real Reviews. This week's reviews are brought to you by thefilmgordon.com. Experience life through the eyes of a true film addict. I am Tim Gordon, editor of thefilmgordon.com. And on this show, we discuss my views on upcoming films. You can also read or listen to past reviews also on thefilmgordon.com. Now, this week we review several films that were screened at the Middleburg Film Festival. First up is the documentary Billie. Now, back in 1971, journalist Linda Lipnack Kuehl set out to write the definitive biography of Billie Holiday. Over 8 years, she tracked down and tape recorded over 200 hours of interviews with extraordinary characters that populated the iconic singer's short, tumultuous life. Linda's book was never finished and the tapes never heard until now. Now, this story, which I had a lot of interest in, I knew Billie Holiday's music. I understood Billie Holiday's significance, but had never seen, outside of 1972's Lady Sings the Blues, a story that was about Billie Holiday that was more than just what we had learned in that film. And this documentary actually does the trick in a very entertaining yet sad way. We learn through these different interviews because the doc is basically two stories. So it's the story of the interviews that Kuehl did about Billie Holiday with all these individuals, but it's also her story because she has been missing since 1979. And we also track the trajectories of both stories of finding out what happened to her as she got entwined with these different interviews of people telling her story. So, of course, Billie Holiday, who was nicknamed Lady Day by her good friend and former, I'm not gonna call him a bandmate, but her colleague, Lester Young. We learn about Holiday's early years where she grew up formatively in Baltimore, and basically the hard times that, her mother had, and then those issues kind of permeated down to her daughter. We learn about Holiday, and when I say we learn about, as it relates to, these different interviews that are on tape, we learn about not her promiscuity, but we learn about prostitution early in Holiday's life. We learn about her penchant for violence as it relates to always selecting men who would abuse her, whether physically or sexually. We learned that she had a tremendous drug habit, which basically tied into her creativity as an artist. So we learned a lot of things about Holiday that are unpleasant to know. We also understand that she's got a once in a generation or a once in a lifetime voice, where we hear songs, her performing, or the backstory of songs that's such a strange fruit. We listen to a lot of her classic music, and then the motivations, and as I said, some of the poor choices she made in men. There are tons of folks that are interviewed in this, including people like Count Basie, Charlie Mingus, Tony Bennett, and several other huge folks. And then also we learned that Kuehl, who had done these interviews, also carries on a relationship with Basie, which sort of was a little sketchy because you kind of had a December, May sort of romance that was happening. But through it all, the focus for the most part stays on Billie Holiday and her story. Holiday, who would tragically die at the young age of 44. It's, again, for me, there was a great learning lesson involved with this film because, again, this is an artist that I knew a lot about going in. So it was just kind of putting more meat on the bones of the knowledge of Holiday. For many younger audiences who will watch this film or have the opportunity to watch it, it'll be like you're learning about who Billie Holiday was. But I would highly suggest you go back and listen to her catalog. This is an amazing artist. And despite the fact that her life on this side of heaven wasn't long, the fact that she did so much and kind of, and it's not just her, but there've been several artists who died young who really had these huge kind of discographies, or in a case like we saw several months ago, filmographies. A lot of work that Holiday put in. This documentary, as I said, doesn't hit streaming services and theaters until mid-November. But since we saw it at the festival, we are allowed to review it early. And I would give Billie's story a B plus. I thought, as I said, it left me saddened to see this kind of fiery meteorite of a life kind of be distinguished early. But Holiday's story has a lot of relevance, and I'm glad to finally see that after a year that this thing is actually going to be coming to fruition through Greenwich Entertainment, as I said, on November 13th. So, again, this is the first of several films that we will review from the Middleburg Film Fest. And as I tell you guys every week, please see something good at the movies. This is a documentary, once it drops, that I would highly recommend you check out. And if you love jazz, this woman is a legend in that jazz, and has a canon of music that is unforgettable. Billie is the name of the documentary. And as I said, until next time, we'll see you guys on the other side. You take care and enjoy your day. Bye.